Hi, my name is Casey. This is my dad, Art.
Hi, my name is Art, and this is my son, Casey. One of the toughest things for Casey, especially when he was younger, in decision making was too much choice. An example would be an aisle that the candy was on that's probably 50 feet long with every type of candy you could think of. And because of his FASD, Casey and his brother would stand there looking at that aisle. They could stand there for hours trying to decide. It was just too overwhelming. So what I learned to do was to say, how about you can have one of these, or one of these, and narrow that down to about 3 choices, and they can make the choice. Sometimes decision making, it gets overwhelming for a lot of people. I was Casey's guardian for 10 years, maybe a little more than 10 years. I became his guardian when Casey was 18 years old. And at that time, he really needed someone to help him. He needed a guardian. He wasn't able to make a lot of decisions by himself. In fact, most decisions he just wasn't able to do. As he got more able to make better decisions on his own, I realized that we really didn't need all of the things that a guardianship offered. We started thinking about the supported decision making in 2018 when I became aware of it and how it worked. A supported decision making agreement, or we call it SDMA, is an agreement, a legal agreement for an individual like Casey, whereas he makes all of the decisions. He has a support team around him that gives him information to help him make that decision. Whatever he needs. For instance, employment, if he's having some issues at work, he can meet with the supported decision making team, and they could talk to him about it, offer suggestions, offer alternatives, and then based on all of that, Casey can make those decisions.
You go talk to your group, and they help you make a decision on informed decision on what to do, and then in the end, it's your decision is final.
It's like being on the bus. He's the driver, and the people in back are just supporting him to get where he needs to go. The whole process really wasn't all that bad. Most of it was getting the supporters to sign the agreements and to make sure everybody understood what was going on. Once that was done, it was just a matter of taking over to the court downtown here in Fairbanks, and it was probably a little bit more of a process because it was new both to us and the court system, because we were the first ones to get that done, but it really wasn't all that bad. Between 2019 and this summer, Casey had both the guardianship and the supported decision-making agreement. And to be honest, we were relying more on the process of the supported decision-making agreement during that time. Having the SDMA in place actually helped, I think, quite a bit in getting the guardianship dissolved. As a guardian, I have to file an annual report with the state, and I indicated on that page that we had an SDMA in place since 2019, and that our goal was to have the guardianship replaced by the SDMA at some point in the future. So this summer, when we got to the point where we were filling out all the papers and talking with the court visitor about this whole process, that she saw that we had the SDMA in place, and that made her realize that we had actually thought this out, and that it would help speed the process of having the guardianship removed and the SDMA take place. Talked to the judge. The judge also noted that we had the SDMA in place, mentioned that, and we received a letter in the mail first week in August. It was the dissolution of the guardianship as of August the 1st. So it was within a week or so that we were able to have that done once we met with the judge. One of the interesting things that's happened since then is the support team met with Casey last week, and it's the first time we've been able to get everybody together since the SDMA was his primary source of his decision making. And they were all, congratulating him and all interested. And one of the things we started talking about was, well, where do we go from here? What else is needed? So it's, again, that's part of the ongoing process of decision making. Like you say, sometimes decision making, it gets overwhelming for a lot of people.
This still happens to me sometimes. I just stand there and just
go into default because you can't make up your mind. Huh?
Yeah.
That's why the support team is there to help you with those. Their role is to help them, and I honestly think they're pretty enthusiastic about making sure it works well.